Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Best London Session live stream. Hope you all doing well. So, we got a new indicator over here. This is the daily bias indicator. So I think this is going to prove to be quite useful for a lot of people who are still struggling with daily bias. Free indicator, guys, in the description box. And you can see right now it says daily bias is bearish. Simple. So we're looking for sells right now. It's all based off the TetraFX concepts rule. But yeah, it's currently in like a beta. So I notice sometimes if the daily has like a gap, it's not as accurate. But if the daily candle opens normally like this, then it's pretty accurate. So yeah, it works like 95% of the time. Small heads up. So we're going to be looking for a sell if price can kind of give me a little bit more structure here. Maybe look for a sell below 4063 area over there. Hey, Dano, good morning. I thought there was no stream today. Lol, didn't know there was. Yeah, there's daylight savings. It's the name of the stream. Yeah, you could easily miss it because the Forex Factory event was, I think, over the weekend. So if you're not looking at the fundamentals for weekend, then you can miss it easily. Looking for a sell. I would like a little bit of a pullback here. Looks like we've created like a new range, a new consolidation. This could be interesting. See how this looks. Dun dun dun. If it pulls up, that would be nice. I kind of want to see it pull up. I want to take it off this break right here. So, yeah, I need a little bit more structure. Because we're just flowing with the trend. We're flowing with the river right now. We're not trying to fight the river, the current. We are not trying to fight the current. So I want to see, what I want to see is I want to see some more candles, maybe close like this, pull up, and then start to rip back downwards. Then we get triggered in for sell continuation. Well, I get triggered in here. So yeah, let's see if we can get that little bit more additional confirmation. Get a W trade, hopefully, and kickstart this week. Have an amazing week. It's gonna be a good week. Yeah, I want to see a bit more structure. I don't want it to break right now. I mean, you could take it on the break, but it could definitely look a little bit cleaner. Oof. Is it gonna actually dump on this? It could dump on the next candle. Let's see how it respects. If it respects us, you kind of got like small little 1 minute support right over here. So we're gonna see if it respects that 1 minute support. All right, it's kind of close below that 1 minute. Maybe this candlestick actually breaks these lows. But I want to see pull up. I want to see it like properly, you know, take its time over here. Because if it breaks now, it's, you know, it can just pull up like this again. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible because we just got the London Open. Oh wow, the kill zones are not yet working properly. Oh, I think we gotta change something with the source code there. Okay. See if Goldie can give us what we want. There's a bit of room here on the 5-minute time frame. There's a bit of range. There's like 35 more pips down towards that support. See? It gets through this wick over here. Oh, don't break. It looks like it's gonna break. Oh, man. Rather like the way this setup here looked. See, it rips back up. Flirting with those lows. Nice little sell over here too. Beautiful sell off. Quick little 23 pips. I've been noticing something interesting on gold. Every time it hits like 20 pips, it starts to pull back of late. That's the reason I had like 2 break-evens last week. It's been kind of like a trend on Goldie. I'm just gonna see what happens here. See, those are the pullbacks I'm trying to avoid. What are we expecting? I am expecting sells. You can see up here. Daily bias, bearish. So that's kind of like the direction we want to take a position. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see, you know. Let's just hang around here for a bit, Goldie, you know. Grab a cold one. Then we can head out soon. Oops, where does this go? Okay, pretty strong closure over there. I would need this candle here to first close. I would need this candle to first close bearish before it breaks the lows. And then, you know, we can take it down. Then I can see a continuation here. From what we've been previously seeing, gold sells. I think we can all be in agreement today, provided we have the EYES indicator on, that price is moving down on gold. And if we're moving down on gold, then I think a sell is going to be a pretty good idea. So when this candlestick breaks these lows, yeah, we're going to get stuck in. I think it should be good by now. Rebreak those areas, we get like a strong break below that support. Again, I don't mind if it spends a little bit more time here. I know it's giving these guys a hard time. There were some previous sells that happened right over there. So it's giving these guys here a hard time. You know, so if they got their stop losses over here, they would be managing their stop losses here. And they're going to be saving themselves around roughly about, you know, like 20, 23 pips. But if it breaks these lows, it's going to be a good signal for them for a continuation. And good thing is, we're still right next to their entries too. So we haven't moved from their entries too much. I like the way that 5-minute just keeps pulling up within that region. So if we break, we need a strong break. See, it's kind of like flirting. It's flirting with the idea for sells. It's flirting with the idea for sells here at the lows. See on the 5-minute there, those wicks? If it breaks, I reckon it's gonna happen pretty fast. The way it's behaving right now, and if it's confirmed entry, it's most probably gonna happen quite fast. Zero drawdown. That's what I would be expecting because of the way it's hesitating. You see how it's kind of hesitating in that area? Sometimes, you know, like when it breaks those key wicks, that it's really confirming direction it wants to head. Waiting game, yep. Waiting game, at least we got bias. Any one of these 1-minute candles to just rip down. What's a 15-minute doing? Oh, I got clean range on the 15. Stops just above, but a 1 minute 48 for the 15 closure. It could be like a shotgun play off that 15 as it closes below support. Tiny little bit of room over here, about like 31 pips to the downside. See if these guys get reversed on. You know, these previous sellers here, they could be getting reversed on. So you got to see if how price reacts off that area right here. If it respects this zone to re-break these lows, then we should keep moving down bearish. But if it's like going to be a reversal, there's going to be a reversal in these players right here. And then price going to come up like this and then maybe go for their SLs. So that's why we're waiting for that additional confirmation to break these lows. It's not about getting a better price. It's about getting confirmation. Because I know sometimes you think, oh, if I'm looking for a sell and I think there's a sell in there, I could just take a sell up here and get a better entry. But it's sometimes about just getting the confirmation. Especially if you're not in yet, you know. You can always get back in. Did London open now? Yeah, it just opened up. This is the London Open. All right, here we come. Is this gonna be it? Candlestick dropped there for a second. It's like when a plane loses altitude in the air. You know, when you get that little drop. TetraFX, how does your signals work? Just like that. They're just signals. When I take a sell, I send a signal. When I take a buy, I send a signal. Why is the Asia not changed? That 5-minute looks quite interesting. Close like a doji on my broker. Price definitely is cooking up something here. Close like a weird doji on my broker. Still waiting for the sells. Maybe it's going to I think what it's going to do, maybe give some confluence here, like a small little fakey, and then come back down to re-break those lows. Yeah, still gonna have to wait here. See what it cooks up. Might need to adjust this. Because of the London Open, you know, whenever you get like a session open, sometimes obviously you get the pullbacks, the reversals. So we're gonna keep monitoring this. All right. See, we just get some crazy dumps. So watching out for liquidity grabs. I get a liquidity grab here on the 5. Look at the way the 5 is setting up. See, I just took out those highs. Just waiting for a little signal like this. Gonna be additional confirmation for the sells. See how it's pulling down? That's not normal, right? It looks a little abnormal. I think if you got like some kind of basic understanding of candlesticks, you're gonna kind of understand this. It's a bit abnormal, right? That's how usually liquidity grabs are. They happen so quickly and then just start to push in the opposite direction. So we're gonna wait and see. Still gotta wait for these lows by 40.63 to break. Nice little SMA confluence in there too. If we start breaking at least straight below the 1 minute SMAs, we got the 5 minute SMA now favoring confluence. It's like kind of like the bully SMA. What else we got? We got 15 minute over there. Oh, we're by like 30 minute support though. We're kind of at the bottom of the range. But I think with the direction, we can keep going. We're literally just hovering by 1% on the daily. So you get like a small wick fill on the hourly would be nice. Down towards like 40.53. Or should I leave the stops like this or? I think it's fine. Massive liquidity grab there on the 5 minute. Looking good, looking good. Better rip down, better sell to the... We usually say buy to the heavens. We're gonna say here, sell to the hell. Damn. Sell to the trenches. All right, Spartans. Sell to Australia. Sell to down under. All right, let's hope it's a good trade. I feel good about it though. I think structurally speaking, it's good. We got liquidity grab confluence. In terms of where we are overall, it could definitely keep pushing down. It's just at the bottom of the range though, on the higher time frames. That's the only thing. But you know, it's besides from that, I think it's a pretty good idea. All right, I took a sell over here, guys. See if I can get a continuation. All right, guys. Stop loss to break even. Stops to break even here, guys. Let's go, Spartans. See if I can survive this pullback. I don't know if you guys already secured something over here. It's down about 36 pips. Holy. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice with a tighter stop loss. Got 36 pips over here. Let's go. Gonna see if I can get price head over to 40.59. Keep moving down. Come on, dump it. Alright guys, I'm securing right over here. Let's freaking go. Beautiful. Gonna secure here at about a 43 pips. Good stuff. Get this indicator, guys. Trust me. It's really gonna help you, give you confidence when it comes to, you know, sometimes I think a lot of people struggle with, like, what direction are we going? You know, are we moving up, down? People still find it very difficult to know this because of all the analysis paralysis from everything they've learned, from all the mentors I've been learning from. They get like analysis paralysis. So, you know, I think this indicator over here, it's a free indicator in the description box. It's really going to help you, you know, cash these bangers. Because most of the time, you just got to be right about the direction, correct? Beautiful. Yeah, make sure you secure something. Don't be greedy, guys. Secure something. Be sure to secure something. Peaked at about 57. Even if it's like 80% and you still want to leave a runner. Yeah, this is a pretty good move. On the 1 hour, now we're getting the hourly wick fill over here. Hourly wick fill. YouTube stream is delayed by 30 seconds. Yeah, well, join the mentorship. There's no delay over there. I can tell you the exact delay that they have, and it's 25. I think it's between 25 to 50 milliseconds. Oh, Lee. Where you running, Goldie?
Why are you running? Spartans!
Yeah, Goldie's selling off. Watch out for the selling pressure, guys. The market, the gold market of late has been selling like crazy. Alim, I'm just gonna block you. You're giving me a very brokey mindset over here. Just relax, bro. I'm just going to hide your account. It's very easy for me to do that. Calm down. All right. We don't like brokey mindsets. You're just a complainer. That's what you are. In fact, don't join the mentorship. I can already tell you're gonna give me a headache. Don't join the mentorship. Don't have time for brokies, my friend. That's not how, you know, like in life, people who are trying to do better for themselves, they're always trying to uplift themselves and uplift other people. You know, they're not always going to be complaining and, you know, you know, always like finding a problem for every solution. Like people who want better for themselves and their companies or whatever they do in life, they don't operate like that. You know, you don't operate like that when you're trying to get better. When you surround yourself by people who are trying to get better. It's a brokey mindset, my friend. COMEX gold futures consolidating above 20-day simple moving average. Let's see. Following the consolidation, the precious metal is likely to resume uptrend towards... We're thinking like $5,000 by 2026. $5,000 a troy ounce. Now let's see. Gold could peak at $5,000. Yeah, exactly. It was projected to maintain an average price of $4,600 an ounce next year with a potential peak of $5,000 an ounce early 2026. In the near term, we expect some volatility and any uptick in risk to support gold. The bank expects interest rates in gold ETFs to remain robust this year and demand from PBOC to remain the most palpable among Asian central banks. What do you guys think price is heading over to on the daily? We haven't done like daily analysis yet. Last night I broke my cigs in half and threw them in the trash. Yeah, nice. You quit? Amazing. Yeah, cigarettes are shitty. I hate cigarettes. There's the one thing I hate is cigarettes. I hate the smell of cigarettes. You know, when I see someone smoke a cigarette, it's like, damn, do you not care about your health? That's what I think. I haven't surrounded myself. I haven't been close to cigarettes in a very long time. But people who smoke is just like a nasty habit. Because even after one beer, I feel like shit. Literally, I feel like shit. I feel like my muscles are deteriorating. And now imagine someone smoking a cigarette. And you know, the whole thing about cigarettes is kind of like propaganda as well. In the beginning, there was a whole bunch of propaganda around smoking and how cool it is and all of that stuff back in the, what is like 60s or something like that. But I think, you know, in this day and age, we should be smarter than that. You know, we're a lot more health conscious. I get if you're, you know, you're like 14 years old, maybe you're a teenager, you're 15, you're still experimenting. That I understand. But once you get to a certain age, it's like you gotta mature and realize that that's just not good for you. How about soldiers in war? Oh, okay, come on. Soldiers in war, they gotta have something. Yeah, come on, man. The guy's in war. He doesn't know if he's gonna make it back to his wife and kids. Like, definitely go ahead, by all means. Soldiers in war, they definitely get the pass for that. But you know, if you're working an office job, a 9 to 5, and you're taking breaks and smoking a cigarette, I think you really gotta look at your life and then you gotta make some better decisions there. Because that's quite depressing. What pairs do you think is more beginner friendly to trade? Gold. Gold is an amazing pair. A lot of people will tell you that it's maybe not beginner friendly, but for me, I think it's perfect. It's gonna build your character in a much more faster time period, and you know you're gonna get a lot of insights when you're trading gold. See, upgraded alerts, multiple conditions, one trigger. Build smarter, more precise alerts without having to write custom codes. Combine up to 5 conditions. Oh, nice. Price, drawings, indicators, and more. One company I'm still waiting to really utilize AI a lot is TradingView. You can mix condition on different time frames, but alert will trigger only when all conditions are true. What else we got? Stay ahead of markets. We already got that one enabled. Sharing in screens. Share setups, not screenshots. Share screen? Huh. Not the best morning. Electricity went out mid-trade and spreads are going crazy on my account, like showing 0.7. Oh. What are my spreads here? Spreads are like 1 pip. Is it consistently like 5 to 15? That's strange. There you go. Electricity went out mid-trade. The Matrix got you, Ricardo. It's coming for everybody now. Can someone help me get this indicator? Yeah, just go in description box and click add to charts on the top right, I think. Crazy push though. Crazy push. 75 more pips. Just when you think we might have bottomed out, price pushes an additional 75 more pips. Just when you think we might have bottomed out. But Vic, you're selling the bottom of the range. Selling at the bottom of the range. How is that possible? Man, one thing... What is it? Is it Alan Watts that says... Or somebody that says... Wisdom is almost to know not... It's not to know everything, but it's to accept that you don't know everything. In a sense. You know? So like a lot of the time when we come onto the charts, we want to kind of know everything. But there's a wisdom in not needing to know everything. Not needing to have a technique. Not needing to have an answer for everything. There's a wisdom in that too. Bitcoin rallies when the dollar falls. Bitcoin's been dipping quite of late. A lot of people who invest in the Bitcoin market of late are getting in quite late. And with those sell-offs, you're seeing people with over-leveraged accounts. So they're just blowing their accounts. They're spending so much money on this hype. It's kind of sad to see. It's always like that, you know. It's like when everybody is looking at it, that's when it's already too late. It's like gold, like literally people lining up to buy physical gold, and you see what gold has been doing. It's just been dumping. But you see, it's like, because you're a day trader, you guys trade like on a daily basis, you have an edge on knowing where the market is. You know, you got an edge on knowing, because you guys have been experiencing this whole bull run over here. Correct? So you know, you're going to take advantage of that, because a lot of people who don't look at the charts as much as you do, they only see in social media. And when they get in social media, it's usually up here. That's typically when it starts to become quite obvious to a lot of people on the ground. It's usually all the way up above when the move's already happened. Think about it this way. When was the last time a rich person told you what they were going to invest in? right? Think about Elon Musk. If Elon Musk is going to invest into something right now, he thinks there's a stock that's going to go up for the year. Do you think he's going to tell people about it? He's only going to tell people about it towards the end of the year, right? When it's time to get out of the market, create that liquidity. But if he's a market mover, when was the last time you ever heard a billionaire tell you what they were going to invest in? Just think about it. When was the last time? Warren Buffett went on Twitter and he said, hey guys, I'm going to get into this. They never tell you this, you know, but you have the advantage that you can read price and you're on the charts every day. I like listening to your philosophy in the mornings, even though I use a very different strategy. Thank you, Joseph. So that's why I've been also predominantly looking for sells on gold. I do see them playing out quite nicely if I get like sell confirmations. So you got billionaire betting tips. Thank you for the sub. Need some tips. When an investment starts to get famous, just know it's too late for that asset. Yep. It's late. The moment your barber starts talking about it, it's late. Or your dentist. Or somebody like that. Whenever you hear these podcasters who have no business like giving trading tips, trading advice, start talking about something, I also like sometimes I also find it funny. It's just like, damn. These guys are about to get some serious character development. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. I think this thing's coming down to 20k. That's my analysis. My analysis was a one more pull down. My analysis is one more retest. And I made the same analysis back in 2020. This is the same analysis. Let's see if it plays out here, guys. Then, you know, then we're going to see what happens. I made the same analysis back here in, this was 2021. Similar thing, you know, we had a head and shoulders here. And then we got the dump, the first dump. It was like a major crash. You could already see smart money getting out of the market. And then we said one more retest to 60k. Because that's easy money. Get the lemmings in. One more bullish exuberance. And then down to 15k. And it still amazes me to this day how I predicted that right to the T. All evidence on my Instagram. Right to the T. It's insane. So right now we're getting a similar vibe. It's same but different, right? Same but different. Let's see if we can get that right shoulder form. There's something like this and then get the dump. That's currently what's happening. Or what's trying to happen here as it pulls up. Right shoulder and then boom. Dump it. Do I think rate cuts will be good for crypto? Yeah, with the dollar weakness, it should be good. Alim, don't join the group. Don't join the mentorship. It's not for you. It's not a place for a. It's mostly for if you genuinely want to learn how to trade and put in some work, then you know by all means. But if you're gonna be lazy and you're gonna complain all the time, then don't join it. Don't join it. It's not for you. Because trading is just not for that type of mentality. You know, it's just not. Simple. It's a very hard thing to accomplish, trading and becoming profitable. It's not for people like this. Just stop right now. Because what you're essentially doing is you're trying to become an entrepreneur. Can you imagine you being an entrepreneur and having to ask somebody on advice on how to run your business, man, you're gonna get whips. That's the last thing that any entrepreneur wants to do, is to be in a position where they always have to ask somebody questions about how to run their own business. So if that's the type of character you are, just don't trade, don't start a business, just don't. It's not for you. I'm not here to motivate you and lie to you. I'm being brutally honest with you. You have to be the type of character who puts some kind of work in and likes to try and figure things out for themselves. I personally never like asking anybody for help. Even all the courses that I did, I always put in the work. You know, I did my own work in the shadows. I always put in the work. If I needed to ask something, I would ask something. But I wouldn't be here asking the most ridiculous and simple questions I could simply Google. You know, so if you don't like asking people for help, if you got that character trait in you, I think it's a very beautiful character trait to have. You know, it's a very beautiful character trait to have. You figure out a lot of things quite fast, quite quickly. Because you want to be profitable within the year. You don't want to be doing this for 3 to 5 years, right? You don't want to waste 6 years, correct? If I'm correct by saying that, then that means you have to put the work in. Like for me, I knew I didn't want to waste the next 5 years learning how to trade. I want to give myself a time span of 2 years. I gave myself 2 years to learn this craft, but like fully locking in, not playing the victim, not giving excuses, fully locking in. I gave myself a time span of 2 years. Trust me, you want to move correct. You don't want to waste time. We're not here to waste time. We're here to move correct. Because, you know, when you start a business also, you got to move correct in that business. Most businesses, only 30% maybe succeed past 5 years. Correct? Most of them probably, you know, give up along the way or something happens. But you want to move as correct as possible, because your number one goal right now is survival. You need to survive to accumulate as much knowledge as possible. So by the time you're having your breakthroughs, you don't have to have things holding you back. You know, by that I mean managing risk, especially in trading. You don't want to be blowing accounts. You don't want to be spending money on challenges just yet. You want to be learning a skill, a craft that that's going to pay you later. You know, you want to move correct. You want to build a foundation, learning things that actually make sense. You could spend like 5 years learning bullshit and you'll still never be profitable. You know, so it's like, if you want to learn a strong foundation, you can't go wrong with a strong foundation. You know, that's never going to change. So that's what we call moving correctly. Build your house on a strong foundation so you never have to come all the way back. Imagine this. Imagine you trading now for 3 years and now you have to come all the way back over here. At least you have some experience. You can read candlesticks, etc., etc. It's going to be easier for you to bounce back up, but you don't want to come all the way back down. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to build you a solid foundation. You know, so at least you're moving up levels and you don't have to move down a level. Could you give a short teaching on liquidity grab? In what context does bearish or bullish candle wick constitute liquidity grab? Yeah, in this situation, you see this? This is what we spoke about. Remember, as the trade was setting up, we're like, okay, so if price is moving up like this and we're looking for a sell because, you know, our indicator here is telling us daily bias is bearish, then we're going to assume that this was once a bullish candle. We're going to assume that that's just a liquidity grab. We're going to stick with our bias, assume that's a liquidity grab, so we can use as confluence to pull down like this. So you see, this is what constitutes a liquidity grab. Bearish trend on the daily and long wick. Long wick next to entry confirmations. Right? So you always got to keep in mind these liquidity grabs. Because sometimes, you know, you're going to look for your entries and you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh, you know, we're just pulling up. Maybe we're rejecting. But always think that there's a liquidity grab happening around the corner, maybe to support your bias. If you're looking for one direction. So that's what you get. You see this candle here? It pushed up. How many pips is this? That's 37 pips. 37 pips. That's like a whole juicy ass move to come back to reflip and still close bearish. A lot of volume in that 5-minute candle over there. And what else do you notice? Look at this. 8 SMA confluence. See how 8 SMA, we spoke about this bully SMA? See how it held that candle over here? Even if it was all the way up over here, look at this. 8 SMA still held price down. Because you know, like, what's the most important thing is how the candlestick closes. It's not necessarily always like what it looks like when it's still open, but it's how the candlestick closes. You see? And so I think this is pretty obvious over here. It took out these highs, reflip, 8 SMA confluence, break of the lows to continue filling this range on the left-hand side on the 15-minute. Even a 5-minute still had about 32 more pips. And then on the 1 hour, that was just like a wick fill. See a wick fill of this hourly candlestick down towards 40.53. I think it was pretty good. Because now that was the move for the London session open. Some bears are just koalas, but some are polar. The attitudes have to change. Yeah. Attitude, man. Attitude is everything. Attitude towards things. Attitude to what thing is everything, you know. You know what I've realized? Man, over the years, the universe doesn't care if you've been like, you know, a good or a bad person. A lot of great people struggle. There's a lot of great people who live in poverty. Such nice people. You know, much nicer than I am, for example. And they still live in poverty. A lot of great people and nice people live in poverty. Because, you know, the universe doesn't know the difference between a good or a bad person. You know, when a baby, let's say if a baby goes to put something in a socket, it's not like the electricity is going to stop and say, hey, oh, hold up, this is a baby. You know, so we're not going to electrocute him. Or if you're walking down the street and it starts to rain, the rain is not going to fall midway, stop midway and say, oh, this guy did his taxes. Let's not fall in this guy's head. So the universe doesn't know if you've been good or bad. It more resonates off of like frequency. So what frequency are you on? You know, and sometimes that it's like if you look at the attitude you have towards things, that can tell you pretty good. It can give you a pretty good hint of what kind of frequency you're on. If you have a clear frequency, because the universe loves clear frequencies, right? You know why good people, they struggle maybe a lot of the time, in my opinion, is because the frequency is muddy, right? It's muddy. They're not as sure about maybe what they want, or maybe they're trying to be just, you know, when you're trying to be nice as well, it's like it covers a lot of things up. And bad people have a very clear cut frequency. But it's not to say all bad people have you have to be bad to achieve the things you want to achieve. All I'm saying is most of the time bad people have like a clearer frequency of what they're trying to do, whereas good people don't have as a clear frequency, because, you know, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, they're trying to be nice here and there. But it's all a frequency game. It's like how you're aligning yourself every day when you get out of bed. Like, what's your goal? You know, for me, it's always been clear cut what I've wanted since I was in university. I've always wanted to make money. I've always been trying to put myself on that frequency. You know, it's not about wishful thinking. It's about being clear to the universe what you want from it. Like every day you get out of bed, you have to be clear. That's what the universe understands. It doesn't care if you prayed this morning. It doesn't care if you've been good to your partner or good to your neighbor. It doesn't care about any of that. So every day you got to align yourself with exactly your goals, whatever it is that you want to achieve. Unfortunately, it's been given to good people and it's been given to bad people, because the universe doesn't discriminate. All it knows is what frequency you're resonating on. So, you know, you got to really look at yourself. And when you come onto the charts, you got to be clear. You know, you have to be very clear about what it is you're trying to achieve every day. It's not luck. People who are consistent, when you're getting consistent results, it has nothing to do with luck. This is all just aligning yourself on the frequency that you need to be to achieve your goals. It has nothing to do with luck. It has nothing to do with being a good person, meditating. You know, all the spiritual things has nothing to do with that. See where we're heading here on the 4 hour. It's not a break below support. Got some few rejection wicks over here. It's going to be kind of difficult to get through this level. It's an area where the 4 hour pushed down quite a lot of times. Start pulling back up. Push down, pull back up. Push down, pull back up. Bunch of rejection wicks. Might get a solid 100 more pips. This is like, damn, that's like 556 pips though. That whole range. That's a whole daily candle. And this daily candle is down 547 pips. Look at this. Still no top wick. And it's still ripping down. The universe only respects your price action knowledge. Knowledge. Man, life is so good. It becomes so easy once you understand that concept of frequencies, because you know a lot of the time is where we get muddy frequencies. You know, your frequencies are too muddy because you're always trying to maybe please somebody, you know, like somebody, some of your friends, maybe your co-workers, something of the sort. You're always trying to please everybody. You're always trying not to step on people's toes. You're trying to be polite. Holy!
Why are you running?
It's going for that. It's going for that day, that 4 hour wick fill. Holy man, imagine the people who said gold couldn't sell anymore. Look at this. Another 176 pips to the downside. Imagine all the people who are trying to do opposite of what the universe is telling them. You know, you got to swim with the current. If the current is going down, that's why I give you guys a story of one of those wild water instructors. Like when we came towards the end of the trip, he jumped in the water and we're like, damn, isn't that dangerous? And he said no, you know, from this point onwards it's smooth sailing. So he jumped in the water and he let the current take him. He was not trying to fight the current. A lot of people still trying to fight the current. Oh, buys at 40.56 for what? You know, so you can say to yourself that you're right, that you caught the dip. We're going down. Downtown. Look at this. Gold falls on easing US-China trade tensions. See, it's all about alignment. Everything you want in life is all about alignment. It's not just about aligning just in your daily activities, but you're trying to align, especially because you're in the market, you're trying to align with the market, correct? Everything in life is all about alignment. As I was saying, nice people, you know, they want to always have good interactions with people. They don't want to step on people's toes. So, you know, that also makes them kind of feel a certain way when they don't get a response. If they've been nice and the person has not been nice, they feel a certain way. But the real power is to be clear about your intentions in the first place. So you not let anybody's energies affect your own energies, correct? So, you know, once you master that, once you understand that aspect of how that works, I think, man, this is insane. I can't even explain what I'm explaining here because gold has just pushed down an additional 170 pips. Man, this is just insane. Look at this. Look at what happened over here. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see the confluences? It's TFX concepts. This is TFX concepts. Right over here. But you see, if you want to join the mentorship so you can ask me buy or sell, just don't do it. Just don't do it. There's no point. There's no point. I can put food on the spoon, but I can't feed you. I always like to say. I was in that cell, gave up because started to call me me on the phone and my kid bugging me, I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, I think you just had a very busy day here today. Yeah, some days are like that. Let's get it. Let's get it. TFX concepts, 0 drawdown on that push too. It's like beautiful little 30 pip push over here. Of that little head and shoulders. So let me just spot this out. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, SMA confluence, consolidation. Man, simple. 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 Kiss of death on the 15-minute right here. That 8 SMA kiss of death. Look at this. 5-minute SMA, bully SMA holding candlesticks. No top wick. Kiss of death on the 5-2. Right over here. See, it couldn't even create a top wick. Look at that. Look at this. It's all about alignment. You think this is... I'm giving astrology advice over here? I'm giving you the truth, my friend. It's all about alignment. Even when I was creating this strategy, I can't just put a MACD here. I can't just put a POC or an FVG because those things don't align with my concepts. You know, so everything has to be in alignment. Everything has to work together. You have to work together, fit like a puzzle, and then you're going to get the results that you want to get. You know, that's all I say. If you can see it in here, and as Conor McGregor says, and you have the courage enough to speak it, then it can become a reality. Well, that's me done for the week. Let's go. Man, imagine I held this trade. But it's always like that, eh? What if you held this? What if you put a 16 pip stop on this and then held it? What if? That would make the trade setup here give you a 1 to 24 risk to reward. What if you had $100 and you risked, let's say there's $100 and you held this trade up like $240? You know, what if? What if you passed your challenge on this trade? Remember what I said? When you're gonna do your challenges, you have to hold those trades, you know, to pass those phases. Because the last thing you want to do is have a trade like this only give you a small amount when you could have passed the challenge. What if you just fill... Oh, full port. Yeah, what if you just full port this? And a lot of what ifs over here. We're down negative 1.60% right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see the daily hit a 2%, to be honest, man. It's like strong daily bias over here. Very strong. 2400. Oh man, we're heading down towards like 4K. Yeah, that 4,000 psychological mark. Price to keep moving down. What if I hated gold? Imagine people who hate gold, they gotta miss out a lot on gold. Because that's a frequency they put themselves on. They're on a hater frequency, so you know they're gonna be on the other side of the road. A hater frequency. That's why you're never gonna see anybody doing better than you hate on you. Never. Why is the hate always coming from below? Because you know they're on that frequency. You're on this frequency, and then they're on this frequency. But somebody above you, he can never hate on someone below. You know, you can never hate on someone below. Even if you look at an eagle, when a crow attacks an eagle, the eagle doesn't do anything. It doesn't fight the crow, doesn't pay attention to the crow. What the eagle does, it goes up into the sky. As it's going back up into the sky, the crow can't survive in that altitude anymore. So the crow just naturally falls off. You know, so you have to ascend. Whenever you're getting these haters, these crows, you just have to ascend. And because of that altitude, they're just gonna fall off because they don't belong up there. You don't even have to pay attention. You just gotta keep flying. Just gotta keep swimming. See, gold falls on easing US-China trade tensions. Yeah, this is the fundamental here. Gold prices fall as signs of easing trade tensions between the US and China weigh on demand for safe haven assets. The precious metal had a turbulent week, suffering its steepest daily loss in more than a decade, a day after hitting a record high. Despite the pullback, gold remains up more than 55% this year. Attention now turns to a heavy central bank calendar with rate decisions from the Fed, European Central Bank, and Bank of Japan. Let's see. Yeah, we're further. We got FOMC this week, I think, as well. Further monetary policy easing could provide renewed support for non-interest-bearing asset. That would be quite interesting. If the rate cuts actually give us the push up, you know, based on what we've been seeing gold do of late, that would be quite interesting. Got like 2 more days here till the next FOMC. Should have been like 98%. Or it looks like it came down slightly. 96.7%. Pretty good odds that Powell is most likely going to give us those rate cuts. So what day do you reckon Trump's gonna say something to make it hostile again? Man, with Trump, you know, it's Trump can't remain quiet for too long. He always needs the next big move. He always needs the next big idea. You know, Trump is a pure entrepreneur, that guy. Even Trump at one point was hundreds of millions in debt. You know, at one point, Trump was hundreds of millions in debt. Think about this. And you know, this is a guy who's been president twice. This is a guy who's very resilient. And that's what makes him a great businessman. So, you know, with Trump, he's always looking for the next big move. That's the thing about Trump. So I would say if things have been quiet for a long time, that's when you really got to be on your toes, because you know something is cooking up. And last week we had Trump visit the Chinese president. And, you know, they had some discussions over there and, you know, price has been moving down. So there's always something. You just always got to kind of like get good at reading the guy's psychology. Well, of late he's been busy, right? He's been kind of busy meeting up with this guy. With the tariffs, he said 100% tariffs. And then he removed them. And now he had that meeting last week. So he's been quite busy of late. And we've been seeing volume happening in the market too. I'll wait for him to go quiet again, because that's when you know he's really cooking. He's probably waiting for Powell. He's gonna wait for Powell. That's the next time you're going to hear from Trump. It's going to be after Powell gives us his rate decisions in 2 days. Trump is going to see if he gave the rate cuts, because Trump still wants rate cuts. And if he didn't give rate cuts, then, you know, then we're going to have drama again, I think. He needed to be bailed out by 72 banks. Up like Donald Trump. People hate on Trump. He's not the most literate person. When you hear him speak, he's not the most literate person. But you know what about Trump? Guess what? He doesn't have to be the most literate person. He doesn't have to be the nicest politically correct president like Obama was. All he has to do is be on the right frequency, because the universe doesn't know the difference between if Trump has been good or bad, but Trump's frequency is clear cut. Look at Trump. He's like, when he speaks, he's not politically correct, blah, blah, blah. But the way he moves is on the right frequency. And that's why the universe keeps rewarding him. It's not because it's good or bad. It's because he knows what he wants. Simple. And you don't have to read 100 books about manifestation or, you know, entrepreneurship and business and all of these things. You don't need to read 100 books on that. I promise you, all you need is maybe like good 10 books, or at least understand the concept and just keep pushing on. I've been sitting in EuroCAD buy since the 22nd. I'm just scaling in. when I can, and I've just been backtesting while I wait for the trade outcome. What made gold dump right now? Oh, it's not even about right now. It's like gold is overall dumping. 4,100 and lower. Yeah, gold is overall dumping. You gotta get good at looking behind the curtain. Because a lot of people, you know, are still watching this like Netflix. You're still watching everything that's in front of the curtain. You know, you're still watching the plays and all that, but you're not understanding what's behind the curtain. Because the thing I mean by this is, it's always every time when we have a big move, people start asking, oh, why did price go down? Why is price going down? You know, why are you asking that? You should already know why price is going down. You know, you don't ask these questions just when you see like a big move like this. Because a lot of us have this bad habit of, if you see a big candle go up, let's say out of nowhere, and you see a candle go like this, you gotta ask, oh, why is price going up? Or you see a price come down like this, why is price going down? You know, just look behind the curtain and see what's moving this play. You know, how does it operate? Why is it moving down overall? Because that volume just doesn't stop with just this one candle over here. It still continues. This is just part of a bigger picture. You understand? That's the thing. It's about a part of a bigger picture. That's why I say you never miss a move. One thing I always tell you guys is FOMO is made up in your head. You've created FOMO. That's a man-made emotion. Fear of missing out. You have conjured that up. Every time you think you've missed the market, missed a move in the market, you are the one who has brought that to your own reality. But FOMO does not exist. The market has been here long before you ever started trading, and will continue to exist long after you're done trading. So if you missed a sell over here, guess what? Look at this. Look at this. If I missed a sell over here, I could have, in principle, like my favorite scientist likes to say, Brian Cox, in principle, you could have caught this move. Correct? You could have caught this move if you missed this move. Because you think you missed a move. That's already a pretty big push. But look at this. The market said, you know what? We're not done yet. It pushed an additional 340 pips. In principle, you could have caught that move. So FOMO doesn't exist. You just have to wait for the next setup. Especially when the market is moving this beautifully. Does not exist. All these fears you're creating for yourself, all this greed, all these problems you're telling me, like, oh, I'm so greedy, I need help, I don't know what to do. That's just all a conjuring of your own mindset. It's just a reflection of yourself. You know, but you see, the good thing is you got the power to change that. It's as quick as flipping a switch. Not being greedy, not feeling FOMO, not being fearful. You flip the switch. Trust me, the body will follow when you flip the switch in your mind. It's instant in the mind, but the body lags. The body is lagging because, you know, you're going to flip the switch, but you're still going to feel fear. But in your mind, you know that you've taken the necessary precautions not to feel that fear, not to feel that FOMO. And over time, the body is going to catch up. You know, the thing about the body, it's like a hardware, right? The hardware is outdated compared to the software. If you look at the amount of things the human mind has achieved, the body is just lagging. It's a lagging indicator. You know, so once you understand that, you're just going to understand, like, it's just going to follow with time. But you can make that switch right now if you wanted to. So don't let the body trick you into thinking that maybe you're not confident just because you feel a bit of fear. Last time I answered the phone when trading. Just too annoyed. Now I can't trade like this. And this morning before electricity went out, I had such a good confluence. Let's see, PA plus order flow. In the morning trade. This is the morning trade. Let's save this. Buyer absorption, sellers here in control. Equal lows. Break. Yeah, that's a nice sell over here. It pulled up to shake out some sellers before filling up the range. I think this was clean on my trading view. We didn't have like a red candle over there, but it was like clean traffic down towards support. See, 5-minute buy absorption. Oh, nice daily bias indicator. PA making LH and CVD. Yeah, this is a really good move. There are also some really nice moves that happened over here too. This was during the Asia session time. Well, looking to fill this range. Then it filled that range, accumulated over here. It thought about it, whether it should continue moving up or whether it should move down. Because if it was going to move up, there was actually some nice range there for it to move up too. If you look at the 5-minute, there was some like little bit of room over here. Roughly around like 30 pips. But you see, it was thinking. That's what I was watching this morning during the pre-London session. Like price was just thinking. It's like, should we move up or should we move down? That's what it was doing over here. You see, just like the markets, market is kind of like, if you think about it this way, market is in a sense also like a lagging indicator. Candlesticks, in a sense, right? Because remember, the mind is not lagging indicator, right? The body is a lagging indicator. Just the same thing in the market, right? If you come onto the chart and you know what you're looking for, basically how we executed this trade, we were kind of time traveling in the sense that we already knew what we wanted based off, everything that we're teaching here in the WAP database. We time travel to a point in time where it's like we know what we want and now it's just for the market to catch up. Just like with the body, your mind is going to know what it wants. It wants to stop being greedy. It wants to stop being fearful. So you give it time for the body to catch up because your mind is moving in light speed. Correct? Your mind is moving in light speed. But everything needs time to catch up. So since you're already ahead, you're going to look at things like this and you're going to say, okay, possible liquidity grab, blah, blah, blah. And then as it's coming in, you feel a lot more confident about that position too. So it's not like you're waiting necessarily for the market to first create the structure. You've already created it and visualized it in your mind. And then you're going to see it on the chart, what you want, and then you're going to take the trade. That's what trading, or how trading, in my opinion, should be. And then you're going to look at the candles and how they print, and you're going to say, okay, we print this certain way, like interesting. Okay, that looks good. If it doesn't look good, blah, blah, blah. And then you can still make that decision to execute. Because obviously you're not going to print it in your mind exactly the way it's going to look on the chart. The market could always do something different, but the concept should remain the same. Because you're not trying to be right. A lot of the time when you get these patterns and these styles of trading, they're trying to be right. They're trying to be as textbook as possible. If it's like a bullish flag, bearish flag, or some kind of a pattern, they're trying to put it into a textbook. That's why when you first start to learn how to trade, you're gonna be looking at your book and you're gonna say, okay, is this the way it's supposed to be? Is that the way it's supposed to be? And that's like training wheels. It's amazing to start off, but after some time, you're gonna have to like take off those training wheels. ODR got out way too early. No worries, Robin. Next trades are on the corner. Remember, no one single trade is gonna make or break you. That's the thing. So if you feel like you got out too early, that's an opportunity for you now to plan for the next trade. Correct? Because now the next trade, the same thing is going to happen to you, but you're going to be prepared because now your brain is light years ahead of what the market is going to do. Correct? You're already ahead. I'm already ahead. I'm done with this trade, but I'm already light years ahead into my next trade and my next trade and my next trade. For the week, for the month, for the year, I'm light years ahead. Y'all think like we're starting this year all together? We're not starting the year all together. This year, just like last year and the year before, was already premeditated. Correct? This is all premeditated. Now we're just trying to adapt to the market. That's the only thing, is you just have to adapt because variables change. We can't control the variables, but we can be light years ahead already. Some of y'all already light years ahead. It's just the implementation part that that is the problem. Because you know what you want. You know where you're working towards, but it's the implementation. You see volume coming up and price still going down, so that's why I'm saying buyers in control. I'm first time here. I really like your stream and explanation. I appreciate that, Ollie. Yeah, I'm waiting for a retest on the 15-minute OB. Can it be possible that gold will go down to 4,000, then have a pushback up to 4,400? Yeah, but that's more speculating. You know, there's also a difference between speculation and also what I'm trying to explain. But yeah, I get it. I get what you're asking, but I don't know. I'm not in the business of speculating. I don't get paid to speculate. I only get paid to react. So when the market does something, all we get paid is to react. So you see the person asking about why gold is selling over here. I understand that you want to know why gold is selling. I respect that. But at the same time, you don't get paid to ask questions, right? You get paid to execute and make money. So if you're going to be put in a hedge fund, I'm going to give you a seat over there and it's going to say desk trader or whatever. I'm going to come over there and I'm going to ask you, did you take a trade today? You tell me no. I'm going to say why? Why didn't you take a trade? You're going to tell me yes, and you know, awesome, because that's what you get paid to do. Sitting at a desk as a trader, you get paid to trade. Leave the analysis for the other desk, which says analysis. Trader analysis. Analyst. Leave that role for that guy. You know, your job is to execute. What good is a trader? What good is a Spartan to me if he can't fight? You know the strategy. You're part of the group. You know what needs to be done. It's not that you don't know what needs to be done that you're asking the question. You're asking the question maybe just out of hesitation. You know what needs to be done. There's a process. Whenever you take a trade, it's not something that you're gonna take and you're gonna say, let me give it, we say let me give it a shot a lot, but it's not like we're just saying let me give it a shot, let me give it a shot, right? It's more of like just implementing what we're learning, what we know. But of course, you know, sometimes we say stuff like I'm gonna give this a shot, but we don't mean by in terms of like just gambling. We know what needs to be done. So I think, man, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference between that, because some of you guys are doing it. I know some of you guys are doing it. You're like, okay, you know, this looks kind of nice. I don't know about this and that. Let me give it a shot. Don't do that. Don't do that as much, because you want to be consistent. Every now and then you can do it. You can experiment with it, especially if you see volume. But for the most part, you want to be as consistent as possible. You want it to fit a certain model of a trade setup that you want to take, that you backtested to see it play through. And then every now and then you can have like one of these trades based off experience and volume. But it's simple, right, guys? Because when we joined stream, look at this, we took this trade literally 21 minutes into stream, right? Some of these trades we've taken even as close as 1 minute. As soon as we start the stream, 1 minute into stream, we're already in. Because we know what we want, and as soon as we see it, we gotta execute. It's not a time for second guessing. Now, a lot of the time, you're gonna second guess yourself. You're gonna get close to your entries, and then you're gonna start questioning it. You know, is this the right move? And then guess what? You missed the move. You missed the move, and you're like, damn, I should have caught that move. But no, you shouldn't have caught that move, because you missed the move. You didn't execute. Simple. A lot of us like to make this up an excuse up that I could have caught this move, or oh man, I could have taken that move. But if price is at your entry and it's breaking your entry and you don't execute because of hesitation, and then it moves up all of a sudden, and then you say, oh, I missed the move, man, that's like, that's something that a lot of us sometimes do, you know? So I do it sometimes, but I don't do it as much nowadays. But this is some problem where I know people are gonna struggle with this problem, because I struggle with it quite a lot. It's like it comes to entries, and then you hesitate, and then it moves all of a sudden, then you want to get in, correct? Then you want to get in. Think about this trade, for example, that we just took. It came to entries, it pushed. Okay, you know, I got slippage on it just a little bit because it pushed so hard, but it was still within the same area over here, still executed. Yeah, it's still executed. Because see, the market, it loves execution. It doesn't like hesitation. Look at this. It doesn't like hesitation. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And you see the reactions we usually have, like when we break key areas of structure and then price just pushes. A reaction. That's why, you know, for me, let me tell you, I still remember the day I fully understood that concept. And it was the day I stopped using sell orders, limit orders, sell stops and limit orders. And you guys ask me why I don't use them? Because I love market execution. I love to market execute. When price comes at my level, I execute. If it's for me to close my position, I execute. I close the position. If it's for me to get in, I execute. I get in. Because that's, you know, that's also building a good habit for you as a trader, is to execute, to take the trade. That's why I'm not a big fan of sell stops or limit orders. And it also gives you more control psychologically and on the charts. It gives you an additional edge. Vic, the execution there. Yeah, I still remember that day. Man, that was a day my mentor was being asked about why he doesn't use those sell stops limit orders. And he was just like, yeah, he likes to market execute. Then I thought about it. Okay, so he likes to market. He didn't really explain it like the way I explained it right now. I was like, okay, you know, market execution. All right. I like that idea. At the time, I found like some kind of a good feeling from that. I like that idea of market execution, having a little bit more control, because I used to set a lot of limit orders before that. I was thinking I needed to be perfect. I needed to get my entries exactly where they need to bounce off of and get triggered, etc. It doesn't feel as good as market execution. Feels kind of gay to get limit ordered in or sell stopped in. Feels a lot better to market execute. You know, you're gonna set like a limit order over here. Oh, I'm gonna wait for my limit order to get hit. Dude, oh man, maybe I missed it by a pip. It's kind of gay. If you don't trade the way we trade, right? It's like, it's almost like removing, you kind of like put your analysis there and then you're gonna remove yourself out from the equation, because you want it to kind of like do everything automatic for you, like driving a Tesla or an electric car. Kind of gay. You want to drive a car. If you're gonna drive a car and you like cars, you want to drive the car. Stream time changed. Yeah, it's because of daylight savings. So we got pushed back like an hour ahead. So we just got the London session open here at 4 a.m. Eastern instead of 3 a.m. Oh, we haven't gotten, this is for the Swiss franc, the euro, and the pound. But for the USD, we haven't yet gotten for the dollar. So that means we're kind of closer to NY Open. So whenever we take that pre-New York trade, It's now going to be that hourly candlestick before New York session opens. But market execution commissions are higher. I don't know anything about that. Makes no difference to me. I spent this weekend sharpening my blade. I've executed 3 today, lost the first, won the other 2, climbed 33% off my Friday drawdown. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think you're done for the day. Oh, 180 plus users for the bias window. Nice one, nice one. Y'all are really gonna like it. It's simple and, you know, it's straight to the point. See, 1 minute consolidation breakout entered on the pullback. Gay. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's a safer approach. You know, they say like if you're getting like a breakout, then the break in the retest usually is the safest approach. You wait for price to retest and then go down. But I took the sell over here. I also just took it off the rip when it was breaking. Almost took me out. I got in earlier, but it yielded in the end. Oh, nice. Look at this. He already got in a bit earlier here, expecting price to keep going down. We just waited for a bit more confirmation. Because, you know, like when I was looking at trading, this is an issue that I always like wanted to see. How can I reduce as much drawdown as possible? You see, how can you reduce all this drawdown over here so you can just get the move itself? That was something that I really wanted to figure out, you know. So you're gonna avoid these types of moves, these types of entries. That was a very nice one. Let's see what this is. Oh, nice. Long win rate, short win rate, bull trap win rate. Bitcoin currently bullish. See, and if it's let's say for GJ, because GJ normally doesn't do anything, you see, then the indicator is gonna say waiting. See, daily bias, waiting. GJ is doing the same price action, but it's on the 15-minute. Keep in mind. Hey, morning, good morning, Ramstein. How are you doing? Amazing. I love it, lol, because I now wake up at 3 a.m. to watch instead of 2 a.m. Want extra sleep. See, this is really putting in the work, Anonymous. Like, most people wouldn't even do that. Painted my zone, was in the zone to target the next target zone, but I was AFK, went to grocery. Oh, okay. That's something else. Hey, what's up, gym person? Good morning. Are we preparing for one more push? Exactly. Now you're thinking like a trader. We're preparing for one more push. Because, you know, like price has already had a move, right? It's had a move. It's a pretty big move. That's a whole London open right there. And now it's setting up again. So you see, we're kind of taking like a pause over here. Kind of like stop for a bit. And then it's going to set up, create liquidity, orders, and then have a distribution again. And that's how you like kind of leverage off time. So you're going to understand like when price is moving and when it's slowed down a bit more. Because this was all distribution. Like it happened so fast. Like everything was happening so fast here. Because it was moving. And now you feel like it's slow, correct? You feel that it's kind of slowed down a bit more. So we're kind of setting up a point A. A rather large one. So I think this might be a pre-New York break. Pre-NY open. All time frame is doing the same price action pattern. Just choose your character wisely. Is there any specific reason why we are not trading in New York session? Just don't have time to trade the New York session. Because you don't want to be a slave to the market. Trading it all day. Take like 2 trades here today. You know, it got paid pretty well. I don't know what other job I could work right now which can pay me $1,000 for the day. For light work. Where else am I going to get that? I don't know. $1,000. I haven't even put that much work in. I had an hour for pre-London and we had 21 minutes for London session. Where else are you gonna get paid $1,000 to work 1 hour, 20 minutes? You know, unless you're an escort or something. Or something weird like that. Unless you're Donald Trump's escorts. It's insane how much strippers make. I was watching a video on TikTok of a stripper counting her money for the night. She made like 10 bands, $10,000 for one night of stripping. It's like, holy. All she had to do was dance. And she made $10,000. Insane. That's how Cardi B started. But she had a plan. A lot of these strippers don't have plans. They kind of get stuck in a dead-end job like that. But Cardi B had a plan, you know. She saved that money and you know, she invested it in her rap career. See, the universe doesn't know the difference between if you're working for an NGO or if you're a stripper. It doesn't know the difference. Stripper gets paid more. On my way back to the office, I just got given a free pen. double wins. Back to back. OnlyFan. Oh my days, the OnlyFan girls. That bad Babby, what's her name? The one from Dr. Phil show. Bad Bobby. She made $20 million her first few hours on OnlyFans. $20 million. Let that set in for a bit. As you're there working your 9 to 5 that you don't like. You know, some people like their jobs and that's totally fine. But if you're one of those people like who don't like their jobs and who's finding a way out, man, just think about that. An OnlyFans model made $20 million in just a few hours. And you wonder, why is the universe so unfair? You know, I think I'm doing everything right. I think I'm a good person. I think I'm working hard. The universe doesn't know that. Online has made it possible. Yes. Man, just like align yourself is the best thing I can say. Just align yourself. Be extremely clear to the universe what it is that you're doing. And your actions need to be extremely clear to the universe what it is you want to achieve. That way there's no muddiness. And it's gonna 100% understand, okay, so explorers wants this thing. You know? Because a lot of people just kind of want it. They just kind of want to be traders. They just kind of want to make profit. You just still kind of want it. But at the same time, you know, you this weekend you went out, you had drinks with your buddies, you know, you had fun, you had a hangover or something like that. So you see, it's like miscommunication. You're kind of messing it up. A $1,000 account. What is a good lots? It's not important. Oh, look at this. We're kind of moving up here again. Some people just kind of want it. You know, you just kind of want to be rich. You like the idea of being rich. You know, you like the idea of having a nice car. You just kind of want it. But when it's time to actually execute, then you're going to be like, oh no, but you know, I got this thing this weekend. I can't do it. Or, oh no, I can't, you know, I can't make that commitment right now because of X, Y, Z. Buy entry. Yeah, this is a crazy push over here. It moved up from that wick like 65 pips. There's a small little accumulation breakout, but it was not clean. This was definitely not clean. It wasn't as clear. Unless you're taking it off like that inverted head and shoulders. All sorts. And then you say this was a fake out right below here. And then that was a push. Because there's a reason why this push happened over here. There was maybe potential entry. As price started breaking these wick highs. So all is looking to reduce the amount of drawdown as possible. We want our trades to be as accurate as possible. So whenever I see a push like this, I'll just wonder, okay, is there anything that could have happened? Maybe some kind of TFX concept over here. Also got a nice little SMA crossover in there too. That inverted head and shoulders. Break of the highs. I was seeing it, but didn't take it because no extra confluence. Yeah, and it's also bearish. You're going against the daily trend. Kind of scary. OF transferred the power of corn directly to the woman. I don't see a problem. Man, you know, the internet is so dirty. I didn't think the internet was so dirty because I have this one reel. It has 30 million views. But the amount, because I have a filter on inappropriate comments. The amount of inappropriate comments is insane. Man, I did not know that people talk like that on the internet. Because I think like YouTube does a pretty good job of, you know, cleaning a lot of that stuff out. So as a user, you don't usually see it. But from the back end, when I had that video hit 30 million views, I could see it. I could see the way people talk, man. It's insane. But you know, that's the thing about the internet. That's what we love the internet for, freedom of speech. Does it break 50 wick on the left side if it continues bullish? It's definitely gearing something up over here. Left side, but you know that liquidity grab, it could come on, it could come in at any moment. Daily is down 1.50%. Man, I was watching this video this movie yesterday. It's called Swiped, right? It's about Tinder and how Tinder was started. And man, the amount of a, what do you call it? Cleaning up that company or companies in general have to do is crazy. Like the stuff people post online and everything. Insane. Imagine people work that job. There's somebody who has to go through all that trash and remove it from the internet. You know, maybe like we got AI now working a bit better with it too. But I think before a lot of time, people gotta have to like delete that stuff themselves. It's like, damn. Internet is quite strong over here. So don't say mean things to me, guys. Don't hurt my feelings. You know? I know the power you wield. Yeah, I've seen it too. It's fun to see what it takes and what happens to get to the point where the business is now. Yeah. Explorer's internet cuts both ways. That's why like people on the internet get paid a lot of money. It's because, you know, it's not an easy job. People think it's an easy job, but you have to have some serious conviction about yourself and your own beliefs and what you want to achieve in life to survive in such an environment where everybody has an opinion, and, you know, you have to respect other people's opinions, but also not be a lemming. We got a range here that's 120 pips. That's what I'm saying. Like this, a move like this would look a lot nicer for pre-New York. So we just accumulate here and then get a candle of sorts, start to close above resistance to, again, fill up this range. But of course, that's a counter trend move. So if it plays out, I think, you know, it's at a point A that if it did end up playing out for you, it would be a really nice push up. But at the same time, there's always that question of liquidity. When's the next liquidity grab going to be coming in? Because the daily bias is currently bearish. All right, and I think the best way to maneuver this is if it pushes, let's say, like 20 pips into your direction, you got a pretty wide stop, just put your stop loss to break even. Like 20 pips. So avoid any sort of like pushes and then reverses. That's what we did a lot of last week and saved us quite a few trades. Hello, I got one question. Why your trades in journal? Why you make 4% once, other times 1%? It's just the way I manage my risk, so I can keep what I made for the day. And sometimes, you know, the setup is good. Like, you know, not every setup is exactly the same. Some setups is like, you know, this thing has more opportunity to run, for example, so you're gonna hold your trade. It's kind of like what we've been seeing with the sells of late. Like if you get a sell position, you're going to have a higher probability of having a runner because of the current market condition that we're currently in on gold. You know? So it also depends on those market environments. It's all about being dynamic with your risk. You don't always got to risk 1%. You don't always have to do the same thing because every moment in the market's unique. You can take advantage of certain things. See, these buyers over here have just gotten wiped out. I do believe there was an entry here. Give them a nice push and then back inside the range. Right, you guys feel like how quiet the market has become now? It's also like this kind of a gut feeling, you know, we feel the market slow down here a lot. As opposed to when we first came onto stream. And you know, it's all about timing. It's all about timing, understanding when volume is most likely to be coming in, where you currently are in the day. Because keep in mind, this was pre-London. This was London open. And what we're seeing down over there, that's like now we're heading towards pre-NY. Now we got pre-NY. So you see how the time aspect also plays a role when it comes to kind of understanding how your instrument operates throughout the day, where you can be a bit more risky, where you have to be a bit more patient. Like all of these things matter, you know? It's not just about like just seeing a setup and then taking a setup and over trading. But if let's say we were here, but this was this, that's also a different market condition. If this was this, because you see, we're still early in the day. That would mean the London session and the pre-London was just consolidating, so we hadn't had any moves yet. So it would still be due for some kind of a move. And you know, we had this really nice range over here. See how it pulled up? So you see how that timing aspect works as well? or that structure, how it is with structure too. So you could still be late, but if the structure is like this, you know that the market hasn't yet had a move. Because not every day is going to be exactly the same too. You see, just look at this for perspective, right? So we came onto stream during London Open, right? And this was pre-London. That's why I mean, like, your mindset and your ideas, they're already in the future. You see, market had already picked a direction. You know, just entertain the thought for a minute that market already knows where it's going. Just entertain that thought for a minute. That market, even throughout Asia, already knew where it was heading. Your only job is to show up and take the damn trade, because you're already ahead of all of this. You know, the next time you're coming, okay, I'm trading London Open. So you're waiting for the London Open, you get your setup, and then you take it. The market was going to pick a direction anyway. It was still going to move down. So just entertain the fact for a moment that the market already kind of knows where it wants to go. That's why it's so important to be in line with it as much as possible. And that's why we have the indicator now. So you guys can download the free indicator in the description box. And I think that's going to help you quite a lot. I think it's going to be pretty good. And I want to build upon this. I don't know how to build upon it yet, but I want to add some more indications, maybe like on the charts. Full pot sell gold? Definitely not now. Gold has already been full ported. From where we took our entry, it melted 400 pips from where our initial entry was. You know, before guys used to say they would catch like 300 pips on gold, and it would be hard to believe because gold used to move on average 400 pips maybe on a daily candle. But nowadays, it's so easy to believe someone say they caught like 400 pips on gold or 300 pips on gold, because the volume is insane. Like, this is a expert surfer's paradise over here, you know? Like, you got a surfer and he sees those big waves out in the ocean. It's like, damn, this is amazing. Got this Hawaii level waves. Oh, look, a little fake out. They're gonna say, damn, this is awesome. That's a paradise. I think also in Portugal have the biggest waves. But other people, they're gonna find it kind of scary. Or they're not gonna understand how to surf such a thing. But this is the best time. This is the best time to trade. The amount of volatility y'all have, it's insane. It's like there's no better conditions. You rather have this than a market that's not doing anything. Yeah, volatility. Exactly, space. You rather have all this volatility than nothing. Be grateful. Because if you get a good trade and you're trying to do a challenge or flip an account, man, you're going to have like a really good day here. But you know, it's also important not to be greedy. It's also important not to be greedy. Secure a piece of the cake. You know, if you secured something and price still kept going, that's also perfect. At least you secured something. You're still part of the 5% of people. Imagine this. Every day your goal is to be part of those 5% of people who are ending the day maybe profitable. Correct? That's the only goal that you have to do. You don't have to be right. You don't have to compete with anybody's risk to reward, you know, or monetary gains. All you got to do is be part of the 5% of people who can call it a day and have a profitable day. You know, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. The universe isn't going to discriminate on you because you made less than the other guy. You're all in the same frequency at that point. You know, just a different gains. That's all you got to do. So if you had a winning trade here today, amazing. You don't have to overtrade. You can end the day right now and be a champion. You know, or you could take another trade and risk that. And risk that, and maybe you're not going to end up a break even or something. You know, like, I think I'm done for the day. I don't think I'm going to take another trade. I took 2 trades here today. I survived the shark. Why would I want to go back in? Why would I want to swim with the shark again? 5% dream. Just one more. More. This is the problem with us. We're greedy. We're gonna be like, just one more. I know what he said, but I want more. Keep going down, gold. Maybe some people are in a sell right now from all the way from London session, and they're just sitting here watching the range, like this guy. They're looking at this range and they're thinking, you can keep going down more. We can still get more. Think like $1,000, 1,100, 1,500, 1,800. Looking for that $2,000. More. It comes up 1,900. More. And then back to break even. $0. Then you're like, damn. Then you're gonna be this guy face again. And that's all like market psychology, right? These are things that people deal with on a day-to-day basis. So you see, you already know this. A lot of you know why you're not profitable yet, where it is that you're struggling. Your mind is already light years ahead. The problem, again, I repeat, is implementation. Sometimes you tell me exactly why you're not profitable. You know it yourself, but you're doing nothing to remedy that. You ask me, oh, how can I be disciplined? Man, all you got to do is be disciplined. There's no secret sauce to being disciplined. You know, you're either just disciplined or you're not. You're either following your rules or you're not. I'm not motivated. You think when I took this trade here today, I was motivated? I wasn't motivated. Some days I have bad days. Some days I have good days. I still come on here and execute. Universe doesn't know the difference. You know, it only knows what frequency that I'm on. Doesn't know the difference. The market doesn't know if I had breakfast, if I prayed. Doesn't know any of this. All it knows is, man, is this guy still on the right path? Is the way he's still thinking aligning with his actions? That's all that it knows. Otherwise, I told you, like, if you've been a good person and it starts to rain, the rain is not going to stop and say, this guy's a good person. Let's not fall in his head. Do you pray before you come onto charts? No. I'm not an atheist or anything, but I just don't pray before I come onto charts because that has nothing to do with how my day is going to go. Of course, you know, we're going to say things like, in Russian, we say "Zbogam" or "Zbogam," like to go with God. You know, you can say things like that to yourself, makes you feel good. And it can also play a role psychologically that it makes you feel there's a greater power supporting your journey. I understand that. And I do that sometimes. But I'm not going to pray, as in pray a full prayer before I come onto the charts. Maybe I'll say to myself, this is Bogam. You know, like to go with God. And it makes you feel good. You don't have to be a religious person necessarily, but it does make you feel good. Universe doesn't know the difference if you said that or not, but it will make you feel good. People are superstitious. And superstitions, you know, they kind of play a role in the chart sometimes. You're going to feel like maybe you're going to have an unlucky day if we don't do a certain thing. And that's all true because you conjure up your own reality. So if you believe that because you didn't do a certain thing, you're going to have a certain day, you're right. You are going to have a certain day. Or if you believe you're not going to have a bad outcome because of the thing you said you're going to do that you didn't do, then you're also right. You're not going to have a bad outcome. Like whatever you decide, you're right. And the universe is going to say, okay, are we going like this? Or are we going like this? It's up to you how you want to go. Do you want to start your day with a shitty mood? Or do you want to start your day, you know, with a relatively good mood? Like, I could give Ricardo a perfect example. Man, Ricardo today, he came into the chart, you know, he had all these distractions. Like, it felt like maybe one of these days where nothing is working out, where things are a bit misaligned, correct? And those days are going to happen. Now you have a decision to make. I have those days as well. Am I going to let that define my day, or am I going to take back control of my day? You know, you can literally take back control of a day that feels misaligned by just changing your mindset to accepting it like that, and still trying to be better than maybe your hater is going to be on his best day. You're still going to be having a better day than your hater is going to be having on his best day, because you're still doing what needs to be done. You know, you're still putting the work in, you're still showing up, you're still doing all this, even though everything feels misaligned. Because perfection does not exist. You know what perfection is? Perfection is just doing the damn thing. That's what perfection is. It's not a special time when you're going to feel a special way. Perfection is just getting it done. Because the moment you get it done, you're going to feel better about doing it. You know, a lot of stress comes from thinking about doing things and not actually doing it. I got more stressed when I think about doing things and never do it. You got a whole list of to-do lists, and the list is just increasing. You get more stressed not checking something off. Do you have Russian roots? Yep. Universe knows everything you do. Yes, sir. Exactly. I just needed to stop at that moment and compose myself. Now I will paper trade, and tomorrow market is here again. It's not going anywhere. I think life is quite simple, actually. We just love to overcomplicate it. There's a lot of things that we know what need to be done to get what we deserve or what we want. Maybe not what we deserve, but what we want. We know what needs to be done. We just don't do it. A lot of us know what needs to be done, correct? We just don't do it. If you're looking for a relationship, maybe you want to find a new spouse or like girlfriend, boyfriend, you know what needs to be done, but you're afraid to do it. If you want to start a business, you know, and certain steps you need to take, maybe certain events you need to show up to, you know what needs to be done, you just don't want to do it. So that's why I say life is very simple. It's not complicated. But sometimes we just get too lazy to put the work in. Exactly, but you know what you need to do, right? Even when you're lazy, you know what you need to do, isn't it? Every week you have these dreams of accomplishing a certain thing, and you know exactly what you need to do. Say the graveyard is the richest place in the world because that's where a lot of ideas go to die. A lot of great inventions were never invented by people who knew exactly what to do, but they didn't do it for XY reasons. You know, maybe they had all these excuses. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, society thinks this is not possible. Imagine all the people before Nikola Tesla who had the idea of putting lightning in a bottle. You know, it's like, how can we get this in the sky and put it in a bottle and then have that as light to go around? You know, like people have had those ideas. Only difference with Nikola Tesla and those other people who went to the grave with the ideas is he actually did something about it. You know, think about all the people who had all those ideas. That's why we say graveyard is the richest place. So it's only up until a real lion comes in and actually executes. See, that's why I love this video over here. I'm trying to find that one video. There's that lion. You know that video of the lioness waiting? Lioness waiting. And lion attacks. Yeah, you see this. You see this video over here? These are all the people who have all these ideas every week. Oh, you know, I'm gonna do this. I wanna chase this opportunity. I wanna start a business. I wanna be healthy. I wanna go to the gym. I want to do X, Y, Z over here. You know, these are all your opportunities going by you like this. All of this hesitation. Oh, this trade. Oh, that was an A plus. No, this is a B plus setup. Oh, that's a C setup. Maybe D. Liquidity. Okay, I don't feel confident about that. Oh no, that one risk management's not there. Oh, this one, the risk to reward is not good on that one. Oh, this one, there's a support right over there. It's blocking my vision. I can't see it. Oh, this one, I got a phone call. Oh, this one, this and that. This one, this and that. And then you got TetraFX concepts. Right over here. TetraFX concepts. All these people are waiting. Boom! Get that freaking trade right there. Simple. Stop wasting time. Execute. You know, that's the difference. Difference mental model is different. Look at this. That's how you gotta be. You gotta be like that lion. Stop looking at all those opportunities go by. Because when it's go time and you see that volume increase, you see with those wildebeests, that means those volume that day, those volume. So that lion was like, all right, I see we got volume here today. So let me catch myself one of these wildebeests because, you know, we got volume and all I got to do is execute. But people don't want to hear that. People would rather me sound more professional and explain to them other things which are not going to make them profitable. All because it's much easier to digest and listen to. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell you guys the honest God's truth about how you actually need to operate. Because trading is not something that you're going to drink a margarita on the beach and then have a beautiful life. You actually have to put the work in. If that was the case, I would be on a beach right now with a margarita in my hand, executing these trades simply. But that's not the case. You know, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. You have to be willing to just focus on just the craft and nothing else. No distractions. And you get better every day. You keep doing that and you don't even want the margarita anymore. And you just want the kill. It's just a sport. At some point, it just becomes a sport. Making money becomes a sport. Showing up and being disciplined becomes a sport. And guess who you're competing with? Yourself. You're not competing with me. You're not competing with the other guy. The only person you're competing with is yourself. That's a beautiful sport right there because every day you're getting better. You know, for yourself, not for anybody else. How do you know we will get volume? You just know, man. You just know. You see it in the market. How does a lion know there's volume when all those wildebeests are running like that? Do you think he's reading an indicator in the wilderness? No, he sees the animals running. He can see there's volume in the market. So he pounces on that. Just the same way as us. You know, we can see there's volume in the market. You can see it in the candlesticks. How big are the candlesticks? How down is the daily time frame? You know, daily is down right now at 1.58%. So you can see it. Don't be like that other lion, which was just, you know, asking all those questions without actually trying to give himself a chance. They say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's what that looks like. So if that's how your week is looking, man, you're missing 100% of the shots you don't take. You'd rather take a shot and miss it. And keep doing that until one day they'll call you lucky. And they'll say, oh, Clement over here, he got lucky. You know, he got lucky. You know, it worked out for him. That's just lucky. You want to get, the more shots you take, the more luckier you get. Correct? Guys like you always think guys like me get lucky. I make my own luck. If you remember that scene from Suits. That's me. Guys like you always think guys like me get lucky. Then the most beautiful thing I ever heard was luck doesn't exist. And the reason why I feel so good when I hear that is because that means anything is possible. Sure, there's some things which end up in your benefit a bit more. Like Bill Gates, for example, being at the only university at the time which actually had a computer that he could study in school, and and then he ended up creating Microsoft and Windows and IBM and what have you. Sure, there are certain things in life which line up like that, but for the most part is the more work you put in, the more lucky you get. So you don't have to be this incredibly lucky person, Instead of the lion, I would say a trade is more an ambush, predator like a jaguar. Or like a sniper, because a jaguar is more clean cut. The only sure thing about luck is that it can change. Yeah, that's the messed up thing about luck. Because if you rely on it, then that means it can change on you, and then things are going to end up being very terrible. Because it's hard to get lucky consistently. That's the hardest part, is to get lucky consistently. So you don't need luck. You just need to be right just that one time. That's all you need. A lot of the time, people get it right just that one time. I was watching that swiping movie about Tinder, and they got it right just that one time. In the movie, there was a point in the movie where this guy had like all different type of ventures, right? Because it's like a Silicon Valley, and it was not just Tinder they were focusing on. They were focusing on a bunch of other projects, throwing mud on the wall to see what sticks. And then just got lucky that just that one time with Tinder. And sometimes all you need is that, but you gotta throw as much shit on the wall until something sticks, correct? But a lot of the time, even people, they can't even throw the shit. They can't even throw the shit because they need it to be perfect. They need the condition and everything to be perfect. Where you got this other guy who's just flinging shit on the wall. Literally just flinging all that shit and getting all those losses. And he's gonna have a much easy, he's gonna be more likely to have something stick than the other guy who's trying to be like super precise. So don't be afraid of failure. Embrace failure, especially in trading, because you are the most purest form of an entrepreneur. Because you're dealing with failure on a day-to-day basis. You're dealing with success on a day-to-day basis, right? So it's all about having a positive attitude towards those things. Take a loss, be happy about that loss. Be grateful that you had the opportunity to be part of that loss, that you had the opportunity to learn from that loss, so you can see if you can get better next time. This thing's gearing up right now. It's about to break out. It's looking at a range over here. Question is, how are we going to fill this range? It's like 112 pips. Best to stay out. Yeah, that's the thing. If it breaks 40-50, that thing could rip back down, consolidate a bit more, and then a breakout later. But the thing about the breakout here is going to be the first buy breakout. We haven't had a buy breakout in a really long time. So this will be the first one here, point A. If you see price continue to move up and then fill this range, it's going to be the first entry. So you're basically being you're being a pioneer. And you know what they say about pioneers? It is a lot harder to be a pioneer than it is to copy a guy who's successful and build off his model. It's a lot more difficult to become the Bill Gates or the Elon Musk and be an inventor of something than it is to follow other people's success. So, like when you're moving down like this, you're just kind of following other people's success. This is a model that works. So why are you going to change the model? So you're just going to keep selling off. But you see these buys over here, you're going to be a pioneer for these buys. And we know the risk that comes with that is a bit different than following a solid route that works, that we can see that's working. So that will be the only difference. So it reduces the probability of it playing out. Or maybe you can get away with it. Like, there was this one right over here. It was like a really quick one, but eventually it did come back down towards like this zone. You can get away with it, but you're going to feel kind of like extra lucky by that point. I'm sure if we took a buy here, The chat would be thinking this is more dangerous than if we're looking for sells still. That's because we know deep down that price is moving bearish. Let's see. Currency strength meter. We got dollar weakness. Look at this. Negative correlation is not working here. Dollar weakness. Gold is moving down. Dollar's been struggling for quite some time now. It's been in a range, the dollar. It's not really been performing well. Look at the dollar index. Been stuck in this range since, can we say March 2023? Or let's say 2023. Since 2023. Dollar has been kind of holding. Not really doing too well. Stock market's been doing fine. The US dollar itself not doing too well. Coupled with what, 2% inflation a year, no gains, just continuously losing money. You see how money just depreciates? You got inflation, you got market conditions. Telling you CVD and PA saying the sellers are controlling, it's coming down. It's coming downtown. Do I think November will be bearish? Yes. I think we have to wait for FOMC first. It's gonna be on what is it, Wednesday or Thursday? Either one of those 2 days. We have FOMC, and then we're going to get a better idea of what to expect. Because, you know, sometimes you're going to expect one thing and the market does the other thing. Like, even if you look at the way the currency strength meter here is, weak dollar, you would be expecting price to go up, correct? But it's not going up. Just the same way with the FOMC over here. Would be expecting gold to move bullish. But you see the way it's been behaving of late, it's just been dumping heavy. So we just have to wait and see what this is gonna bring. It's gonna be on the 29th, so that's gonna be on Wednesday. Wait for the FOMC. Then if it moves up, then I think we're just gonna move up until end of December. If it moves down, that's gonna kind of cause a bit of confusion, and then, you know, we're gonna be very cautious about what gold's gonna do next. But we're not gonna fight the market. We're just gonna be like that river guide and jump into the water when we see things are clear again, and we can just go with the momentum. Well, we don't wanna find ourselves in areas that are very jagged, very rocky. You know, so we're gonna wait for the market to show us direction. In any case, we're not gonna speculate. We're just gonna go with the flow. Because you don't need to be right to make money, right? You don't have to be right. You don't have to be right to make money. As in, you don't have to try and figure the market out to make money. You just have to go with the direction. So you see, like, as of right now, there's no direction. So there's a lower probability you're going to get like a good trade setup. That's why when we take these trades, these entries, these TFX concepts, there's a reason why we get the reactions that we get when we take these trades. Because we're trying to avoid the mess where 90+% of people are in. They're always getting stuck in the mess. You know, we're trying to avoid that as much as possible and allow the market to show us where that it wants to go. That's how I trade. That's all that I do. I'm not going to sell you on some kind of holy grail over here, because the only holy grail is just to follow what the market is already saying. Alright, so if it's breaking lows, then it's saying, you know, maybe we can start moving down. If it's breaking highs, key levels, it's saying, you know, maybe we can start moving up. That's it. And everything else in the middle, you just kind of like gotta sit on your hands. That's all that it is. You see, like right here, there's a no trade zone. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna take a trade here? Even if you had a big stop loss, you're basically just in range. It's only up until either these highs get broken, that price can move up, or something a bit more clear over here gets broken, the price moves down. And that's where you want to be. So this is where the wildebeests are crossing. They're running up over here. And as price starts to come up, as the lion starts to come, you see there's this other lion here who's hesitating, right? He's just watching. This lion is just going to pull up. That's going to be the candlestick, the price action, and then boom. It's going to catch one of those and then keep moving up. While this other one here hesitates. Because when it's time, it's time. And remember, we're just small fishes in the ocean. We're actually watching the lion do what it needs to do, but we're just kind of like jumping with it, with its direction, right? We're not necessarily obviously the market maker. We're waiting for the candles to first show us. That's a leader, right? That's a leader. This is a true leader. There's no other leader greater than this in the market. There's no guru out there. There's no ICT who invented an algorithm. There's no other leader but what we're all looking at here on the screen. This is the king. This right here. This is king, right? Price is king. And you know, TFX concepts is second in command. Vice president. We are picking lions. Which lions would do the right thing? The orders are gonna fly, bleed heavy. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely gearing up. It just takes time. Oh, that little guy with hesitation was a strategist. Risk manager, right? Risk management. Ugh. You see, that's why even in the animal kingdom you can see it. The lioness is the one who's more strategic, right? She's the one who's like gauging the risk, because she senses more of the risk than the... It's usually, not to be sexist or anything of the sort, but it's usually, generally speaking, how it's been since the hunter and gatherers. It's been the man who takes the risk. It's always been the lady who say, you know, maybe that's a bit risky, or, you know, maybe we can do this and that. It's always been the man. And unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword because yeah, you're gonna have some of those risks play out, but at the same time, it's you know, it's the risk that you're taking that can really play against you. That's why I say, when it comes to trading, like, females are a lot better in terms of they're a bit more cautious, they're a bit more cynical, they take a little bit more time, whereas the man will just, you know, go through it. We'll just fucking run through that barbed wire. And, you know, like, sometimes it works out, most part it doesn't work out, because most people would fail running a business. Running a business is like a gamble, and trading is like running a business. So it does pay to be a bit cynical, especially in the beginning. You know, it's only when you gain confidence, when you're the true king of the jungle, that you can get away with just running through that. You know, but in the beginning, you definitely want to be more of like a lioness, correct? Like, I know I kind of go back and forth in terms of the things that I say, but it's all a matter of like balance. You need some kind of a balance, correct? For me, at my point in my journey, it makes me more sense to be like the lion, to attack. But if I was still in year one, definitely you need some level of precaution, because you don't know exactly what it is that you're doing. But the moment you start having progress and you start doing something, let's say for like 2 months, because it took me a while to start executing too. It took me a couple of months to see the trades play out. You know, I was like the lioness at first. I was watching them running and, you know, going and going and going whilst the other ones were executing. But then after like a couple of months backtesting and paper trading, now I started doing that as well. And you gotta start risking money on it. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with paper trades. You gotta paper trade something for a month, maybe 2 months. They say, okay, so I've noticed price does a certain thing when a certain thing happens. And you're just gonna watch that. You know, let's say if someone asked me today, oh, can we start trading NAS 100? So with NAS 100, what I'm gonna do with you guys on stream, for maybe a whole month, maybe 2 months, we're just going to watch NAS 100, right? We're not going to touch it. We're just going to watch and say, okay, I see some accumulation that happened over here. Let's just see how NAS plays that out. Or maybe if there's another one over here, let's see how NAS behaves. And we're going to do that for maybe 1 or 2 months. And then after that, we're going to gain confidence to start executing on it properly. But you see, you got to first seek knowledge, understand how the pair moves. And then when it's time to attack, you attack without hesitation. Because you know, at this point now, you know what you're expecting. Because with gold, when I get my trades, I expect something different than I would in NAS once I get my confirmations. It won't be the same thing necessarily. It could still play out the same, but it might do it in a very unpredictable way that you have to backtest. I just know NAS has a lot of volume in it too. My boy moving to NQ. It would be nice to trade something like, because indexes usually have a lot of volume in them. They have really nice pushes. The question with NAS is it confident about the directions that it does, or does it do a lot more fake outs on those accumulation breaks? Because I know with gold, it's like when gold picks a direction, it's going to go in that direction. Gold is the true king of the jungle. Damn, and then look at these types of moves, like anticipating these types of moves, understanding what moves NAS when it has those insane pushes. So you definitely got to watch that for a while. Small little liquidity grab below here. Start ripping up. Looks like a news event, 8:30. Yeah, that's usually when a red folder comes out. It's super volatile. 2 months. Lemmings need results yesterday. My father keeps telling me to trade NASDAQ, but I'm happy with just gold. I'm much more consistent when I focus on just one. Yeah, you just gotta focus on just one thing, you know. And I think gold, just price action wise, this thing just, it respects PA so nicely compared to like these other instruments. It's like really the gold standard of all instruments you could trade. Most of the manipulation can work in your favor. If it breaks a low, it should move down. If it breaks a high, it should move up. Man, I love gold. The best thing that we did this year was to exclusively switch over to gold from April 17th. That was the best decision I think I made this year, was to exclusively switch over to gold as soon as I saw the opportunity, because we've been able to leverage and focus all our attention on a market which has been performing really amazing. Still up 55% plus this year. And you know, it's insane. 55%. It's a lot of money. Because it's not like gold is trading a $500 account, flipping it to I don't know what. Gold is moving so much money that even 1% could probably even retire you. You know, so 55%, that's really good. That's really good. How much percent profit do you consider a win? A win is a win, in my opinion. So let me ask you some. If somebody, let's say, considers a 1-to-1 a win, but they always have a profitable trade hit break even, and let's say somebody else considers a 0.5 risk reward ratio a win, and he always secures 0.5 and has a high hit rate, at the end of the day, who's making money? Is it the guy who's trying to be right, or is it the guy who's securing something? Because, you know, at the end of the day, you don't always gotta secure at a half of a 1-to-1. Some trades you can leave some trades to run. You know, and you can leave other trades to secure something. You don't always have to be this guy who's trying to get the home run, who's trying to get the full risk reward. It leads to a lot more break-evens, a lot more losses. You have a lot more winning days turn into break-even days. So yeah, for me, a win is a win. Let me even ask you something. Like, if somebody has, let's say a win for them is a 0.2 risk to reward, right? 0.2. And they make, let's say, $50,000. Do you think the universe is going to discriminate and say, oh, that 50K, that's not a 1-to-2? Okay, so let's take that 50K away from him. That's not a 1-to-2 risk to reward. You think the universe is going to discriminate on that guy? That guy could withdraw that 50K and go buy himself a Hellcat or something. You know, the universe knows no difference between if you got a 1-to-1, a 1-to-2. You know, some of you guys catching 1-to-5s and making maybe like, you know, maybe like $500. There's a guy out there who just got a 0.5 risk to reward and made maybe $5,000. A win is a win. A win is a win. What's the difference? You take the 5K in a heartbeat. You wouldn't start asking questions. Oh, but that's not a 1-to-2 risk to reward. If someone offered you $5,000 right now, in this context, would you tell him that that's not a 1-to-2 risk to reward? You probably take the money. A win is a win. As long as you can manage your risk. You know, if you can manage your risk, that means that your winners are always going to outshine your losing trades. New here, like the stream. I like trading gold in Asia session. I'm on futures. What's your bias for gold right now? My bias for gold is still bearish. You can see it like right over here. The problem is we're desensitized to the money that we're making, especially when we get these funded accounts and we start earning a lot of money. We keep forgetting that's actual cash. So you could be up like $1,000 and not secure because you want the 1-to-2. But if you actually had that in cash right in front of you, you would take it. That's a curse of being a trader, is we get super desensitized to money. You know, it comes like easy and for us it's also a good thing. It's a good mental model as well to learn, because people, if you ever looked at life, people who need money the least have the most, and the people who need money the most have the least. I don't know if you're hearing me correctly. People who need money the most have the least, and people who don't need money the most have the most. Correct? So it's in the trajectory that you want to be going. But that's why I always say it's important to be respecting money and being indifferent from it at the same time. But a lot of the time, it's like we're operating from a point of gambling. You know, that we're just gambling because we think we could make more. That's the only difference. So you're on a gambling frequency. You're in the same plane of existence, but it's like you're slightly a bit off course. But you know, that's what I mean. It's just the way you look at it. How do you look at the market? That's why psychology is super, super important. I'm waiting for gold to flip bullish and fill the gap in the 1 hour time frame. It's trying to break out right now. I think it's trying to distribute. It's currently I think it's in a distribution right now. It's breaking these lows here by 40.37. It's moving. That was a break. Yeah. You can sense it as well, right? You've sensed how it's changed. Something has changed, right? That's what I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to teach that psychology too. You can sense it's different from all the way up over here. But there was like a sooner break that happened. I was just not paying attention. But this one is easier to see. This one from up over here. There's another small one that happened right over here, but that's definitely like little head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, SMA confluence. Basically something similar to what happened down over here. But I was more focused on this one right here as it was starting to break these lows. That was easier to see as I was just speaking here. We should all expect this after Trump reduces tensions on China in the trade deal. It's currently distributing right now, buddy. We are on our way. Buddy, gold is going down. It's going down right now. Why are you trying to buy gold? You need a whip. I'm going to whip you, buddy. Come on, let's go. We're going down to $4,000. Okay, exactly. Robin, do not redeem it. Not yet. Don't redeem your profits, Yasa. You have to let it go down. Let's target 4K. Now it's distributing from this zone right here. You see, it took a small little break, but it's currently in distribution. You see, that's momentum. That's momentum. That's volume. There's a huge difference, correct? Like from what you've been seeing here, this is all just consolidation. These are smaller plays. Maybe you could have caught the small breakout over here. Those are all smaller plays, but this is the real point in time. We can see some kind of like a further movement to the downside. So that would have been the trade that we could have taken over here. So if we started the stream this late, then that would have been the trade. Right over here, as price started to break below these lows. I don't think we could have, honestly, we would not have taken this one. I really doubt we would have taken this one over here. Would have most likely taken the break below support. Right over here, another zero drawdown. Push. 80 pips. And it's not just hindsight. I can see it because I know what I would execute. Like, I know this. This is what we do. What would have been to this confirmation to take the trade? Accumulation breakout. SMA confluence. Let's see what else was going on. 5-minute liquidity grabs. No, nothing else. Maybe a 5-minute holding price down like this. But we also got daily bias is still bearish. Still looking for sells as well, as you can see. Maybe got a head and shoulders in here too. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Or even this one. This smaller one right here with that SMA crossover as confluence to break these lows. Boom. And then get distribution. Man, I can tell you, TetraFX plus order flow confluence from the last 12 trades. I lost one. Holy. We have a holy GIF. Lord. Holy cow. Holy moly. You know, a crazy thing. I was freaking seeing an AI create Family Guy episodes right off the bat. Man, AI is insane. It was literally creating like Family Guy episodes. And you could write in the stream what you wanted to see. Maybe you're gonna write, let's see an episode of Brian injuring himself skateboarding. And it could like make a whole episode of Family Guy with like actual jokes and characters speaking to themselves. So if this is where we are with AI, imagine where we're gonna be in the next 5 years. Like, it looks a bit wonky and stuff, but it's pretty weird. Like, this is literally making episodes of Family Guy live. And you see, it tells you the current topic. Outside, Peter is trying to convince Kevin to marry Meg. to sweeten the deal. Peter has covered Meg. Then it has like these cutscenes. Also has like the cutscenes and everything with the music. Look at this. Then you see like each scene is a different kind of like episode. Current topic. Peter is at the market outside and all other characters. This is the Halloween episode over here. Other characters are running food stalls. Peter visits each food stall and decides which food to shove up his ass. Then shoves it up his ass. Like, this is wild. See it right in the chat over here. Episode where Peter goes to the moon and finds water. Oh, what happened with gold? Oh, Lee. We just got a V-shaped reversal on Goldie. Boom, boom. See, that's what I mean. You don't have to be right to make money in the market, right? If you got a break over here, you know, you secured some profits, amazing. It's like 85 pip push. You don't have to be right. This is what happens most of the time when you're trying to be like extremely right about something. You get caught in these drawdowns. Something similar with SpongeBob a while back. I was watching a video last night about the breakthrough of quantum. It's unreal, exponential, yes. Quantum computing makes unrealistic leaps, changing the laws of physics itself, using AI to help with quantum and quantum to help develop AI. Oh, yeah. Holy, that's crazy. Thought process. Yeah, that would be... Quantum is definitely going to be a much bigger breakthrough, of course, than AI is. AI is still a gradual thing, but quantum would be almost immediate. Change to a lot of things. We still don't even understand how those quantum computers actually work. Like, we know how to build it, which is insane that the human psychology can create something that they don't also know how it works. I always find that interesting. There's a certain way, like the quantum can be in two places at once. You know, that's the whole idea behind quantum computing. You can be in multiple areas all at the same time. So it's crazy technology, that is. It's the same way scientists think time is like, you know, linear, all happening all at once at the same time. So right now, Jesus could be getting put on a cross right now as we speak. Because everything is happening all at the same time. So the amount of brain power of the people who create those things, you can't be a lemming. You cannot be a lemming. You know, trading compared to that is nothing. Those people who work at those levels. Superposition, a real thing. Yeah, quantum computing is insane. It's not even light speed. That's a whole different thing. You know, the only thing that moves faster than light speed is gravity. So some places in our universe which is just dark because the light hasn't gotten to that point yet. As gravity moves faster than light. So now I'm trying to understand what the hell goes behind a quantum computer and what that means. There's a reason why we got the Mandela effect. Are you Christian? Yes. Only thing moving faster than gravity is my PNL. And just massive whip over here for the anyone who is still holding the cells. Because now it's stuck in this range. It gave a pretty decent push, but overall it's still stuck in the range. The dark part of the universe is where I go to when I'm on tilt. Low key, peaceful area, huh? I think that's where Thanos goes to reflect on life. Dark part of the universe. Only a greedy person would it that long. That move was so nice and clean. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Would have been good to see a full breakthrough through this level, but it may be gearing up for something a bit bigger. Hey, if there was a quantum computing company out there, I think that would be something to get invested in. The leading one. Leading... This is not investment advice. Leading quantum computer company. Because that's gonna be a black swan event. And with the way things are heading right now, IBM is considered a leading quantum computer company. Are they the ones who are investing in the... I remember watching a documentary about this. I think it was in America. Oh, where was it? Quantum computer. Is it America, chat? Yeah, it looked like this. This is it. Where is this? Google's quantum computer. A particle quantum computer is coming, but when? This was 7 months ago. It's crazy because like the chip itself is so small, but all that stuff there is to keep it cold. It's colder than the universe, like space. It has to be extremely cold. This is an IBM. And it's such a small thing. Yeah, this is a chip, right? Microsoft unveils first quantum chip powered by topological qubits. Imagine the ultimate gaming PC. You need this, you would need that thing in your room, eh? Massive computer. Imagine having this just to play video games. What a waste. Imagine this powering a video game. You would not be able to differentiate between what's real and what's fake. Because, you know, it would have so much capacity to the smallest of details that you would not know if you were in a simulation. Like literally, every single small little speck, every single sand on the whole entire earth could be rendered on that thing. And you would be not knowing. And people still think this is fiction, man. You gotta talk to people about stuff like this. They all think it's fugazi. Oh, Vic has his head in the clouds again. Man, leave those people behind. Because, you know, when life changes, they're just gonna be like all the way back there. This is happening now. This is real. The only difference is we don't have billions and billions of dollars to be part of this. But Jiseng Hung, CEO of Nvidia, does. You know, so I think, you know, never lose that childish aspect of you where it's like you're a dreamer and you're always dreaming and, you know, you're always thinking a lot of things are possible. Because the only difference between you and this guy is this guy has the money. You know, you can invest in that now if you wanted to. You could have a team of people working on that. Money kind of makes you like a child again. Because then the world becomes kind of more accessible. That video I watched described how it can do all that and more. See, in time we will all have quantum computers at home. Oh man, We should run simulation trades on this computer. That computer will definitely break the market. It will have the most amazing strategy. Bro, it's not for a video game? Yeah, I know. Hey, but you know, I bet you Rick and Morty play video games on that thing. You know, Rick has done everything in the universe in that show, Rick and Morty. Rick is probably so bored he's playing Call of Duty on a quantum computer. That Matrix was a documentary. Yeah, exactly. People thought it was a movie. Actually, you know about the Matrix? You know something interesting about the Matrix is there's this actual experiment that a well-known professor does. It's called the red laser experiment. And it's about how if you shine a laser onto a wall, right? When you shine a laser onto a wall, a red laser onto the wall, you can see the code. It's a DMT laser simulation. So when you take DMT, that gives you access to parts of your brain that you don't naturally have access to when you're in normal conditions. DMT, I think it's the same thing you release when you die. You know, when you die, your brain releases DMT. And you know, in some cultures, you're going to see people, they maybe are taking DMT or these drinking blood, and this sort of thing is DMT in blood as well. And you know, it's like, you can't call these people stupid. And you can't say that they're what's it called, primitive. You can't call them primitive. Like, we've had ancient civilizations live way far beyond like what we know as of the modern human. So it's like these experiments, they hold weight to them. But it's this one over here. It's called the DMT laser simulation. So if you're under the right conditions and you're looking at this red line over here, you're going to start to see almost like a 3D version of code. Like you'll see the code in 3D, kind of like in the Matrix. It sounds wild, and to some people it sounds crazy and some hippie shit, but trust me, this is the stuff people like in Silicon Valley and stuff like that. This is kind of where your mind needs to go when it also comes to like creativity and understanding, you know, trying to really push the boundaries of what you think is possible. You can't think like a normal person. Normal people don't get shit done. If it was just normal people, we would never have a freaking light bulb. You know what I mean? This is quite an interesting experiment over here, and that's why I really pay attention to these things. Some people write them off as like hippie talk and whatnot, but for me, it's not. I truly believe like a lot of the inventions we have today have all come from a lot of unorthodox ways of thinking about reality. And that's why I love to manifest. That's why I love to share with you guys how I manifest on my day-to-day life, how I think about the universe, how I think about law of attraction, because those things do work. And if you're going to feel a certain way, you might as well feel good when you wake up in the morning. Yeah, V-shape faked out. There's a little bit of there's a bit of a small little breakout over here that's happening on the 1 minute. But you know, I'm gonna head off now. I will see you guys tomorrow for the best London session stream here on YouTube. So adios everybody. Take care. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. See ya.